Hello food lovers. Today we'll be making fresh tomato stew. The easiest way our mother used to make it those days, that you come back from church and you meet your rice and stew ready. So we'll be needing fresh tomato and fresh pepper. You can add maybe your tatashe or shombo, but for me, I want to make it the way my mom used to make it those days. So you wash your tomato and your pepper and place in the freezer so that it will be frozen, hard, rock frozen. You can wash it maybe and freeze it for a long time, or maybe you've been putting your tomato and pepper in the freezer for a long time. You know, when you have them surplus, it has a season, you can buy them and place them in the freezer to use for later. So this is the frozen tomato that I'll be using today. Frozen tomato and pepper. So what you'll be needing is not blender. You'll be needing your mortar. You'll be needing your mortar to crush the tomato, because if it's frozen, it makes it very, very easy for you to crush in a mortar. So you put them in a mortar and then you start pounding. You start crushing it. How long you pound determines how smooth your tomato is going to be, how smooth your tomato paste is going to be. You can pound yours to be smooth like this, but me, I want my own a bit smoother, so I continued pounding. I continued pounding until I got this texture. This is how I want mine to be. So when you finish pounding, you place a dry pot. On the fire. And then you put in your pounded tomato on the fire, so that it will release its juice, and then the water will dry up too. You'll be close so that you don't get a burnt tomato. And then when you cook it and the water is out, this is how it will look. Trust me, this method makes it very, 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 very easy for you to fry. And this is what you'll be needing. You'll be needing your meat, the tomato, chopped spring onion and onion, garlic, seasoning cubes, salt, and your curry powder. My curry powder had some thyme and a bit of turmeric. You place a pot on the fire, add in your cooking oil, then you add in your chopped garlic and your chopped onion. You fry them until they start looking golden brown. And then you add in your spring onion to fry. I like frying my spring onion and scooping some out, because I like the way they feel crunchy and float in the oil after making stew. So in that oil, you add in your tomato paste, the one you crushed and boiled. You add in your tomato paste, your fresh tomato, and then you start frying. You fry the tomato until you notice that the tomato have started separating. You notice that it started separating and feeling light on the oil. And then when you notice this, then you know it's time for you to add your tomato paste. I added tomato paste because I want it to be a bit thick. So that was why I used tomato paste. If not, you can fry it without even adding your tomato paste to it. So it's time to add the tomato paste. So I added in my tomato paste and I continued frying. You continue frying till you notice that the tomato paste too have separated. Is loose in the oil. So you continue frying. You continue stirring the tomato continuously so that you don't have a burnt tomato. So after you have fried for some time, this is how it will look. And now you know that it's time for you to add in your seasoning. That is your spices, your curry. I fry my curry a bit because frying it brings out the flavor more for my stew. So I add in my curry and I fry for some time with the tomato. I fry for some time, and then after frying it for some time, then I'll add in my seasoning cube. I'll add in my seasoning cube. Add in my salt to my taste. Mix it properly. Just to fry for a little time. Just for some seconds. Then I add in my meat broth. The water I used to cook my meat, I add it to the pot to cook together with the tomato. So I mix it properly. And then cover the pot and allow it to cook for some time. Then after some time, this is what you will get. At this point, the stew is ready. You can stop here and then your stew is ready for you to eat. But I want to add more water because we are a lot that are going to eat this stew. So I don't want it to be too thick. I added in my water and allowed it to cook for some time. And then after cooking it for some time, the tomato thickened more. I noticed that when you fry tomato for long, when you fry tomato properly, as you add water, the tomato will continue increasing. It will become thicker and thicker. So I added a little water more and covered my stew to cook for some time. And that was when I noticed that the stew became thicker and increased in size. And then after allowing it to boil for some time, this is what my stew looks like. And at this time, the aroma is everywhere. All I need to do now is allow it to cook for some time again. So for that, I just cover the pot and allow it to cook for about a minute. And then you remember the spring onion will remain from the beginning of the frying of the stew. This is the best time to add your spring onion. So you add your spring onion to your stew, mix it properly, and allow it to cook for some minutes so that the oil can float on top. And this is our stew ready for you to eat. Enjoy.